The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Chubbuck, Idaho, on your new Pierce fire apparatus job number 38671. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting first on the outer edge of the front bumpers, where you'll find the front stabilizers. Also notice there are warning and caution information located here due to the movement and high pressure within this area. As we move toward the center, you'll find dual air horns. Directly in the center, recessed, you'll find your mechanical siren. As we move up onto the face of the cab, it's where you'll find your marker turn indicator light. Just inside that location, you'll find your headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. High beam will be located on the inside cluster. Moving up from that, on the officer side, you'll find the fire bell, and then just inside that location is the emergency warning lights forward facing. There are 2 located on the passenger and 2 located on the driver. Unit identifier 12 located in the center of the grille. Also behind the Pierce logo is your hood release. As we move up to the windshield wipers, you'll find 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield, and out to the A-pillar you'll find a mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, there are 5 identification clearance lights. Up onto the roof of the cab, you'll find your forward-facing floodlight. And then just above that, slightly toward the rear, is where you'll find your emergency warning light. Located inside the emergency warning light, directly in the center section, you'll find your Opticom module. Let's take a quick look at the side of the truck from the driver's side. And let's focus in on the cab section next. Starting first at the front bumper extension, you'll find your emergency warning light side facing. As we move toward the front axle, you'll find Goodyear tires, a center sight gauge into the center of the axle, easily accessible with your gloved hand or your door lock and latch, and then also grab handles located at each point of entry for maintaining 3 points of contact. You'll also find a push button keyless entry, shoreline inlet, auto eject. As we move just up to the very top section over the front axle, you'll find a side facing scene light, and then toward the rear of the cab is where you'll find your water tank LED indicator. As we move toward the midsection, this is where you'll find your pump panel located here. We'll come back to this in just a few moments. Let's move on now to the body, where you'll find 2 stabilizers, a mid and rear stabilizer. You'll also find your wheel chock storage located to the rear of the axle. Moving now to the lower zone emergency warning lights, there are 3 located within this area. As we move toward the very rear, you'll find an emergency warning light 360 degree at the rear of the apparatus. Moving toward the rear, you'll find a marker turn indicator arm on the passenger and driver side. You'll find your brake cluster located first, starting with an emergency warning, brake, turn, and reverse light. As we move up from that location, there are rear scene lights located here at the rear panel, and then also at the very top section, you'll find your backup camera. As we move toward the top section, you'll find your traffic advisor. Let's move around now to the side of the vehicle on the officer side. This is the location of your exhaust, and then we'll move on to the cab portion next. Same configuration and layout. Moving now to the pump panel, we'll come back to this in great detail also, and then a full view of the apparatus. Let's start now with the front bumper area. Close-ups here. This is the front stabilizers. And then also looking to the grille area directly behind the Pierce logo is the release mechanism for your hood. And then on to the front bumper area. Fire bell located here on the officer side. Let's move around now into the driver's space. We'll start first with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information. You'll also find your door lock and latch combination, electric window controls for all 4 cab windows, and also a grab handle. Moving just downward into the stepwell areas where you'll find the air inlet. Just at the base of the seat is where you'll find your battery voltage indicator. When plugged into Shoreline power, this will become active. You'll also find this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation. This also has the VIN number, all of the fluid capacities for each component, fluid capacity, and then also fluid capacity type. As we move to the left knee of the operator, you'll find your engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port, along with your maintenance module, tech, and display port. Some switches at the bottom for ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and your regen inhibit switch. Moving now to the dash. On the upper left-hand corner, you'll find your 4-way flashers, start and ignition switch. Just inside that location is a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This will engage or disengage all emergency warning lights along with your headlights and panel lights. As we move to the dash cluster, you'll find your tachometer and speedometer directly in the center. As we move to the left-hand side, you'll find the transmission, oil, def level, and water temperature gauges. Moving to the right side of the cluster, you'll find your rear and front air, fuel, and volts. Diagnostic information will display in the tally lights above and below the tachometer and speedometer, in addition with a visual indicator display located in the very bottom section. As we move all the way to the right of the steering column, you'll find your OK to engage your high idle indicator and switch. Moving just to the right, full view of everything within the driver's preview. Let's start first with your yellow diamond, which is your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. This is the rear spring brakes. Also, display here located touchscreen and also function buttons underneath. Tremendous amount of information. See the owner's manual for more information. Allison transmission pad, informational note to pump and drive. Also, some switches located here: aerial master, halo flash, stabilizer cameras, and load manager. Also, engine brake on and off switch, low, medium, and high, front wheel lock, and also your mirror heat. As we move just to the right of this location, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump, and then also instructions from pump to road. Just as a reminder, you need 2 green indicators when exiting the cab: pump engaged and OK to pump lights illuminating. Also, some caution and warning information below that. You have mirror controls for the flat and convex mirror control, in addition with climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost located in the forward section. As you look to the roofline area, you'll find do not move your apparatus. If this light is flashing, you may indicate you have a compartment or door open, along with seatbelt information. Red, someone is in the seat and belted. Correction, not belted. Green, in the seat and belted. On the left-hand side, you'll find the height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating. Height, 11 feet 3 inches. Length, 44 feet 0.75 inches. Gross vehicle weight rating, 76,640 pounds. 5-digit job number, lower left. Emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and opticom. When any of the switches have been activated, the individual light switch will illuminate green, indicating that it is on. As we move to the right to the next switch panel, panel 2, you'll find front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, rear scene, air horn, mechanical siren, siren brake, and your bell. Once again, when any of these have been activated, the light will illuminate green in the outer edge, indicating that the switch has been activated. Let's move just to the right. You'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Further to the right, you'll find your traffic advisor. As we look to the rear of the cab area, forward-facing seat, EMS compartments on left and right side. As we move behind the seat, you'll find your battery charger and also brake compressor. To the exterior now, where you'll find your push-button keyless entry and Shoreline inlet. Goodyear tires, center sight gauge visual into the center of the axle area for fluid check. Let's move to the rear of the cab next. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, electric window control, door lock and latch, and a grab handle. Overhead is your air conditioning unit. Also push on and off white or red lens lights. As we move to the rear cab, you'll find 2 rear-facing seats which do house SCBAs, along with a forward-facing seat. As we move into the EMS compartments, you'll find power located here in the upper corner. That is a USB-A, and then also adjustable shelves and LED lighting. You'll also find your remote control to control your master stream device. Moving now to the seat bracket, where you'll find your SCBA seats on each side, and then also an access panel located lift and turn latch at the rear of the engine for your daily checks for oil and transmission checks. Moving just behind the seat is where you'll find your air compressor for maintaining brake pressure, and then also battery charger when plugged into shoreline power. To the exterior rear cab wall, you'll find an additional storage location. As we move now into the pump area, let's start at the very top. We have 2 cross lays located in this space. Cross lay number 1, also cross lay number 2. Warning regarding entanglement hazard. Because those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. As we move to the pump itself, let's start first with the pump panel area on the very far left-hand side, where you'll find your pump boss located here. Moving to the right into the gray area is the master intake and master discharge. In between the two of those are the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. They're currently plugged and are utilized for testing purposes. Let's move down on the panel where you'll find the fire pump primer. It is a push to prime. It's located on the left at least 1,000 RPMs for best practices for maintaining draft. As we move to the right, you'll find your large diameter passenger side discharge. It is the green valve. It's a wheel valve. To the right, you'll also find your aerial discharge, also wheel valve. As we move to the right, you'll find the tank fill and recirculating line. Just underneath that is an audible speaker. That speaker does have a bezel on the outside, which will allow sound to increase or decrease by rotating. Just below that is your tank to pump. And let's move just down and slightly to the left on the pump panel, starting forth with a warning placard indicating entanglement hazard. You'll also find crosslay 1 and crosslay 2 discharges, along with an additional warning here indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Let's move just to the right of this location, where you'll find the passenger 2 and also driver 1 2.5-inch discharge. Also, you'll find an engine cooler. It's a rotate, not a pull. And then as we move down just under the engine cooler, you'll find a warning placard indicating fall hazard. When climbing on or off the vehicle, please face the vehicle. You'll also find the 2.5-inch driver side number 3 discharge. Then as we move down to the left, you'll find a warning here. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after proper training. You'll also find the driver's side auxiliary inlet, 2.5-inch female, locally controlled via the ball valve, and also a danger placard here indicating that the ladder itself is not insulated. To the right, you'll find your wattress placard indicating the capacity of your pump, 2,000 GPM. Also main pump drain, and also manual pump shift. All of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains are across the very bottom section. There is also a pull-out and fold outward standing space located here under the pump panel area. On the right-hand side of the vertical plane, you'll find your water tank level indicator, also minimum operation maintenance schedule placard for 150, 200, and 250 PSI, along with your governed speed. You'll also find some switches and indicator indicating pump OK, and then an air horn switch. As we move in, just as a reminder, the ladder is not insulated. We have these warning placards throughout the vehicle, just as reminders. Also, access panel here in the step area. And then also some additional warning here regarding tip over hazard. That's basically for short jacking. And then also a danger placard indicating extremely high pressure hydraulic pressure. And then also, once again, only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment. As we move into this compartment here, this is our override compartment. We have the gray indicators here along with the valve located on the right. Also the transition valve from either aerial device or stabilizers, and then also individual stabilizer control. So you have aerial control and stabilizer controls in this. They're clearly identified by color and name in this compartment. As we move to the exterior, you'll find you have a camera located in the upper side to locate the stabilizer location for the mid stabilizer, and then also a warning here regarding crush injury hazard because of the movement of that stabilizer. In our first compartment, we have a tool compartment located here, 3-drawer. Moving now to the forward section of the axle, we'll find SCBA bottle storage and also the DEF fill location. This is a 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. It is the blue cap. Also, as you look into this similar space, you'll find between the axles SCBA bottle storage for 3 bottles to the rear of the axle, 2 bottle storage, and then also the fill location. For your ultra low sulfur diesel, it is the silver cap. There is also in this overwheel compartment a pull out and tilt downward tray forward of that, and also rear section. As we move to the rear end, you'll find this is a T3, which is steering controlled within this area. In between, just a highlight here of the bottle storage location. SCBA bottle storage, and then also fill location for your ultra low sulfur. As we continue to move down toward the rear of the apparatus, we're at the rear compartment now. We have a pull-out tray that has a vertical tool board. On that rear wall, we have shoreline outlet. This will activate when plugged into shoreline power. As we move into the rear portion, you'll find the release mechanism lower right-hand side for that. Also, we have stabilizer movement here, so we have a crush injury warning placard along with your warning light here side facing. To the rear compartment, at the rear portion cab wall here, or body wall, you'll find shoreline outlet. Once again, shoreline power plugged in, you'll find shoreline outlet active in this compartment. All compartments open now. Let's move to the rear. We have all compartments open where we'll find our ladder storage and pike pool storage. Into the space of the step well, we have a warning here regarding climbing on or off the ladders. Make sure that you face the vehicle when climbing off and or on. Backup camera located here, along with a warning here regarding fall, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. As we look to the next section here in the Pandora, you'll find the emergency stop, override, and stabilizer enable. You'll also find your remote control module here. It is tethered. This is for controlling the outriggers. As you move to the side of the door, you'll also find some additional warning here regarding aerial stability, and then also caution here regarding the equipment damage. Let's move to the lower compartment where you'll find just to the left of that an inclinometer. This is from left to right. As we move to the master stream device, you'll find first one that is controlled via a remote and the other which is controlled via manual. You'll also find a forward-facing LED light. As you move back down, you'll find your ladder storage in the rear torque box area. Let's move into the ladder storage area, which is on the left with a little giant, a 2-section 35, 10-foot folding, 20-foot roof, 12-foot folding, 16-foot roof, and a 28-foot 2-section. Moving to the very bottom section compartment, you'll find additional storage underneath the ladder storage area. Also a warning placard here indicating entanglement. This is for your supply line in the upper right-hand corner. Also a danger indicating electrocution hazard regarding the equipment not being insulated. Also a warning placard here indicating for the eyelets here. These are direct pull only. As we move around to the passenger side, this is once again a stabilizer. We have a crush injury warning. Additional compartment storage located here, adjustable shelves, and a pull-out tray in the lower corner. That release is located in the lower right. In the upper corner, you'll find shoreline outlet. Once again, when plugged into shoreline power, those are active. In the very bottom, pull-out tray, release located on the right. As we move to the over wheel compartment, you'll find a tool board located here. D-handle gains you access, and then when it's open, it will lock into position. We do have an oil hopper located here in the forward section or rear section of the axle. Once again, when the tool board has been opened all the way, the lock is located on the hinge side. T3 rear end, once again. In between the axles, you'll find SCBA bottle storage for 3 bottles with retaining straps. Moving forward to this location, SCBA bottle storage for 2 bottles. This is also the location of your diesel exhaust. Fixed adjustable tray, and then also a pull-out shelf in the lower portion. Just as a reminder regarding your diesel exhaust, extremely hot temperatures do exist, especially during regen. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. As you move to the center stabilizer, you do have a side-facing camera. Also a warning here regarding crush injury hazard. Because of the movement of that stabilizer, we have a warning placard, also a warning light. To the right, this is the visual indicator for hydraulic level. Close-up of that now. Moving just underneath, you'll find your tank to pump and also tank fill and aerial drains. As we move now into the pump section, we'll start at the very top section with your cross lays. Once again, there are 2 located here, same configuration as we have on the passenger and driver side, upper and lower. As we move into the pump panel itself, starting at the top, I've got a warning placard indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Moving now to the passenger side, we have the 2 pump inlets located here. It is the Pierce logo American flag eagle. Also access panel directly behind, along with some additional warning placards here indicating pressure hazard and also entanglement hazard. 2.5-inch discharge in between the 2 caps located here. As we move down, further down to the lower left, we'll find your aerial inlet outlet. It is also the American flag eagle Pierce logo, and then also large diameter discharge on the passenger side. An additional pan door for gaining access behind the pump panel. Looking to the very bottom section, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. We're now into the rear portion of the cab, additional storage located here. Into the cab space, rear portion affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placards, door lock and latch, and window control. Moving now into the rear, we've kind of covered a few of these things. 2 rear-facing SCBA seats, overhead push on and off white or red lens lights, and then also your 2 EMS cabinets forward-facing, air conditioning at roof level. Let's go ahead and move to the exterior once again. Keyless entry located here next to the grab handle, and then also to your front axle where you'll find Goodyear tires and a visual sight gauge into that center axle for axle verification. We're now into the officer space where you'll find a fixed door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch combination, window control, and a grab handle. The vehicle is equipped with this supplemental restraint system, an airbag. This is the location of that airbag. Glove box located slightly above the airbag area. As we move to the dash area, you'll find these red and white candy cane labels indicating spare wire behind the panel. Also 12-volt access via barrel style and USB-A. You also find to the forward section, we have 2 push buttons located here. Let's first go back to the close-up of the 12-volt access, barrel style, USB-A, and then we'll move toward the push buttons. This is for your mechanical siren and air horn. Let's move overhead of the officer seat. where you'll find storage locations and then also additional switch panel. Located here, we have the fire bell, front scene, driver's side scene, passenger side scene, and rear scene lights. All compartments are open. Let's go in and start talking a little bit about the aerial device at the very top section. First, we'll start with some warning and safety placards. We have those in the bucket area in the platform. Please familiarize yourself with those. We also have additional boxes located on the outside of the ladder. There is minimum storage requirements for those and weight capacities. Take a quick look inside the saw box here. A 14-foot roof ladder located on the fly section. Also, you have a long-handled tool mounted here in this space. As we move to the forward cab section, just as a reminder, this is a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these warning placards indicating that it is a non-walking surface. Moving back to the ladder, and then back into the front section of your ladder. Let's go ahead and identify a few things within this space. First, with the Ascendant aerial tower load chart with a waterway dry, also waterway charged, and then also nozzle positions. Down in the very bottom section is an asterisk section for ice and cold. And this is a 35-mile-an-hour wind-rated ladder. We also have some warning placards, indication for danger regarding electrocution hazard, in addition for tip-over hazard, and also requirement for fall restraint and crush injury because of the movement of the ladder device. Graphics here located on the front door. As we move into the front section, let's identify a few items within this space. We'll start in the upper right-hand corner with your front basket lights, under basket lights, and running lights. Also nozzle control here for open and close, indicators for that valve, whether it's open and close, and then also control here for stream, whether it's a straight stream or fog, right and left, and then also raise and lower. As we move toward the center, we have ladder control for extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. We also have the under basket sensor disable. That is for going to the ground area or any objects that you may want to disable that sensor. Moving to the left is your command zone. Touchscreen, also function button. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. To the left is the emergency stop push button. Also find a aerial speed for normal and fast, and then a basket manual leveling, either enable or disable. On the left, you'll find a manually controlled monitor, meaning movement-wise, and then to the right, you'll have a electronically move remote controlled monitor on the right-hand side. Let's move inside. We have some additional warning placards here. This is in regards to the life bracket system. There's some warning and placard information here, along with your push to talk for your volume control. Correction, this is passive, volume control only. And then also your main speaker. Moving down now to the outside edge where you can see your additional storage, once again weight controlled within those spaces. We're now to the pedestal area. As we move to the pedestal, we have the same warning placard information in both locations, along with your Ascendant ladder load chart. This is a push to talk intercom system with volume control and speaker. You'll also find your emergency stop, under basket sensor disable, emergency hydraulic power, aerial speed for normal and fast, aerial manual control, and manual basket auto leveling. We also have tracking light switches, front basket, under basket, and running lights, along with nozzle control for open and close, stream, fog or straight, right, left, raise, and lower. Also a command zone located here, and also ladder control for extend, retract, left, right, and lower and raise functions. In the cover itself is where you'll find all of your warning and danger placards. We'll cover those also. First, starting with your Ascendant Aerial Tower load chart for waterway dry, charged, and then also nozzle positions, again with warning placards for tip hazard, fall restraint required, crush injury, and then also danger electrocution hazard because the ladder is not insulated. Let's move back to the exterior now, where you'll find a few images here of the stabilizer in the outward position and downward. Moving now to the dunnage area or hose storage location. You can see the chute on the left-hand side. There is the ability to open that chute for hose loading. Rear cradle portion here. Water fill. This is the exterior waterway on the ladder. Then as we move into the reel fill for the aerial hydraulic system, we have additional information here and also placards here regarding the replacement of the filter element. The next set of images are that of the chassis with the cab tilted, engine, and chassis area. No additional audio will be from this point on. Congratulations, Chubbuck, Idaho, on your new Pierce aerial, job number 38671. If you have any questions regarding the operation of your vehicle or any additional questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.